Alright, so Modern Warfare got a pretty decent weapon tuning update, but of course, since I'm not happy with anything ever, I might as well just go ahead and complain about it. If that's okay with you guys. I mean, you clicked on the video, and I already kind of titled it in a negative light, so if you clicked on it, you must be down with that, so let's watch. Or, I mean, I have to make it, you can watch. So now the FAL got a buff and a nerf, which I didn't think it needed another buff on top of a nerf. I didn't think it needed as powerful as a buff as it got before. That was a bit ridiculous. But either way, the FAL has been taken down a peg overall, but the buff now increases the headshot damage, so it's still possible to get a 2-shot kill at longer ranges if you mix in a headshot. And that's okay, I guess. It requires some accuracy and skill on the half of the user, so you know what? I'll allow it. But they also decrease the near damage, and this is what they needed to do. So now, lower torso, that's hard to say, lower torso and limbs are now a 3-shot kill instead of a 2-shot kill. In case you didn't know, or were blissfully unaware, in the mid-Season 4 update, the FAL got the ability to 2-shot you to any part of your body at 25 meters with the right attachments, which is basically just a long barrel and monolithic suppressor, which is not a bad way to run the FAL, especially when they gave it the ability to shoot you in your elbow and your knee, then you're dead. Or your foot and your hand, then you're dead. That was pretty bad, and on top of that, you could one-shot people to the head. So they didn't get rid of the headshot, which I'm okay with, mostly because that does require some skill, or at least a crazy amount of luck, whereas the problem with 2-shotting people to any part of the body is it requires very, very little skill, shot pacing, accuracy, and you can really just run up to somebody with a laser and Merc foregrip and hip fire them to death because the rounds can hit them, again, foot and hand, and they're dead. So they fixed that. That's good. I'm happy. I can't complain too much about the FAL anymore. It does now seem like more of a high-skill weapon, and okay, you know what? I'll see how it plays, but in my experience today playing with the new update, I didn't have too many frustrating engagements, so again, can't complain. The Holger 26 got the next notable increase in power, where you now have even faster ADS speed and increased damage range. I think they changed the ADS speed last time too. So the Holger is a lot more lightweight and snappy now, and it has more range. How much range? I don't know. I used it a bit, and it felt better. It's still just a crappy gun though. Like, I'm sorry guys. If you love the Holger, more power to you. I've loved bad guns in video games before, but if you want to run it like an AR, you're limited to 30 rounds. If you want to run it more like an LMG, a little bit more conservatively, you have to have 100, and although 100 rounds is nice to have, but you know, the Bruin has the same rate of fire, but it has the ability to 3-shot people, so yeah. Oh, and I can have the magazine be 60 rounds on the Bruin, where it's still just 30 on the Holger if I want to, you know, convert them. So yeah, no, the Holger is just a bad Bruin, and really it's a bad Kilo, it's a bad M4, it's a bad Grau. In my opinion, it's a bad Ram. Because even though, yeah, the Holger has a couple of strengths over those guns in maybe one area or another, where it doesn't have any strength, in my opinion, whatsoever, is its ability to compete in the meta. It's really, you're pushing a rock uphill with this thing. So yeah, I'm glad it's getting these buffs, but I think it needs the ability to 3-shot somebody in order for it to be justified, or give it a 50-round magazine option. Sustained fire is the meta of almost every Call of Duty game, and it's really disappointing that the Holger really isn't able to do it without slowing itself down, but once you've slowed down the Holger, you might as well be using a Bruin, and so I really can't get behind this at all. It's fine, it's good that they're, you know, giving it more love, but it's still it's still like bottom tier list for me. Now, the Bruin MK9, the Mark 9, has reduced damage range, which I'm guessing is a Warzone related thing, won't probably affect me too much. The Bruin, I love for its recoil pattern and rate of fire, and its damage. So, its damage not being as good at range, not gonna bother me when I'm playing hardpoint on Gunrunner, so whatever. Now, the M91 is a gun that I completely forgot got a buff until I started recording this video, so I forgot to test it. But the M91 now does more damage in close range and aims down sight faster, which is good, but the M91, in my opinion, is just a long-range LMG. Its rate of fire and its damage range is actually like way better for longer range engagements than it is for closer range engagements. So increasing the near damage and ADS speed, it's like, cool, that's not what that weapon's used for. So give it a little bit of versatility, sure, but I don't think it's that impressive. but I haven't tested it, so I'm excited to do an M91 video after I do a video on the AN94, which is coming soon, guys. I'm just collecting gameplay and struggling because my match quality is bad and my friends are all playing Sea of Thieves, so it's sort of hard to get a full team going. Anyway, the big problem I have with this update, you guys already saw this coming, it's because the MP5, for whatever reason, is still being untouched, and the MP5, like it or not, it's in every lobby because it's overpowered. It's not just easy to use, like the M4 is incredibly easy and very powerful. The MP5 out-TTKs so many other guns in this game up close, and with that built-in monolithic suppressor, your increased bullet velocity and damage range is astounding, and the iron sights are so clean and the recoil... I'm so sick of talking about the MP5. Infinity Ward, I remember back when I was playing Call of Duty Ghosts, and guns like the Vector and the MTAR and the Bison kind of moved around the meta in the SMG category, and you know, people like different ones depending on what you did to them. Why are you terrified to nerf the MP5? Why did you add the ISO in its crappy, shitty, awful, worst MP7 P90 state? Why do you not want to shake up the meta? Call of Duty's gunplay is intuitive. I used to think, oh, it must be the pro players keeping them from patching it, but pro players have adjusted to meta shifts in the past, and Call of Duty gunplay isn't so complicated with an SMG that like, oh, I don't know if I can switch to using this new ISO, I don't think I can switch to using the MP7. No, of course they can. Why won't you buff other SMGs? Why won't you nerf the MP5? What are you so scared of? Is the game broken? You can't fix it? Because the last time you tried to nerf the MP5, you accidentally buffed its 10mm rounds. What the fuck was that about? I'm glad you guys got on the FAL. I think you guys realized you over-buffed it, you made it more powerful than it needed to be. Very good, very happy that you did that. Then you have a different problem. And by different problem, I mean there are hundreds of problems you are seemingly very willing to avoid. And that leads me to the unhappy conclusion that you don't have anybody in your testing group that hops into public matches. Because if you did, you would have realized the Kar 98 didn't need that mid-season 4 buff that you gave it. You would have realized that the RPGs are incredibly annoying in objective game modes. You would have realized that Battle Hardened needed a buff. You probably also would have realized that the MP5 is incredibly easy, and why other SMGs are they're fine. The P90's good, MP7's really good. The AUG is super solid. Even the Uzi with its conversion kit, very dependable little weapon. But the MP5 is outclassing these otherwise stars because you won't remove its 3-shot range. I don't understand that. Just make it a 4-shot kill without headshots. How hard is that for you? Does somebody need to draw it in crayon? I'm sorry. This bothers me. When I see, hey guys, we have weapon tuning coming, and they're gonna get all happy about it on their Twitter pages, and then you give Ashton Williams garbage to put on her Twitter page that's just, hey, we fixed the FAL after we broke it, and also don't worry, the M91's gonna do more damage up close, and don't worry, the aim down sight speed on that Holger is gonna be real sweet. Like, I'm not rushing with the Holger. I can aim down sight really quickly, but that rate of fire and that damage, oof, no. You won't catch me being aggressive with it just because you increased the aim down sight speed, dumbass. I'm sorry, I'm being bitter, I'm being rude, I know, but this is frustrating as somebody who's really trying to like your game. And, well, yeah, I mean, it's frustrating because I'm really trying to like your fucking game.